Okay, my friends, this is brand new research right off the press here. Now, this is a new way of looking at cells, and they found out your textbooks are wrong. This is what cells actually look like. Not only that, and this goes back 3 years, approximately the same time they discovered this new organ that is in our body they never knew about before. It's called the interstitium, and it is exactly what Gokul is going to show here. He's from UC Berkeley. Now, listen to what he's going to show. This is so brand new, and the healthcare professionals don't understand it yet. And our immune system is what I'm going to be showing you. And you have one, I have one. If you want to be healthy, you better make sure that it has the correct ingredients. And here's how we found out what the ingredients are. Now, this is Seeker. And again, I will speak through this. Here we go. I'm going to open this up. Now, he's going to be looking at these new technique they have, new technique to look at what's inside these cells as they're actually living. Now, this I emailed Gokul and asked them, exactly how does this work? Because they're talking about making this available to other people. This research, because this is going to open up. If we could find out what bacteria is supposed to be living in these areas, and when that bacteria is gone, you're invadable. I'm telling you, I've come down on this a lot of research on this, and it's exactly what it is. And he will show you what happens. And if the guy is not there, the little blue guy, nothing's going to happen. Watch.
Something I will never forget. The hair on my hands just stood up. It's a microscopic universe within each cell.
This is an unprecedented view of the cellular world, where we can act. All
right, I want to just say one thing right now. That's bacteria. That bacteria is going around grabbing up all of these, probably mucus. I don't know what it is. They're going to talk about sugars in a zebra cell, but this is an immune cell. And this is a bacteria, and it's gobbling up something in here, and it's taking it back out to deliver it, to destroy something, or to break down food, or to deliver a catalyst, whatever it is. Now watch.
Actually see immune cells scooping up sugars in the ear of a zebrafish in real time.
Focusing only on the crawling immune cells, we've noticed two classes of them. One was not hungry at all, but it was very active in terms of trying to figure out, what the environment is.
All right, let me just explain to you this one. You see all these different colored stripes and stuff. Apparently they can see these because those represent different molecules, different types of chemistry. Every chemical has a different signature of light. Light bounces off of things differently depending upon what they are. Hard things, they bounce faster. And every single molecule has its own exact frequency that it bounces. And if they can do this, which it looks like they can, we can determine. These guys here just are scouts. They go around and then they report back to that blue guy that goes around scooping up stuff. But there's all kinds of different colors.
There's another one that was kind of sloshing around with a lot of food in its belly. We can actually conceptualize and visualize and analyze the contents of each of these cellular compartments in this crawling immune cell as it's kind of scooping up its environment.
All right, now this is the immune cells. And these immune cells live in the bilipid layer, this new interstitium layer that they really never paid much attention to before because they didn't know it existed. By the time they got them into the autopsy rooms, they were flat like a little piece of, plastic. So they never knew there was all these fluid-filled spaces. And this just happened a few years ago. They figured it out. So, again, brand new stuff. What has to live in there? What lives in there is going to protect you from what wants to invade you. And what lives in here also creates enzymes and catalysts, which are the most elegant molecules that ever were made. One single molecule of an enzyme, one molecule, can react with more than 1 or 2 million other molecules in 1 second. And it doesn't even get used up. It does that one, and then there's another 2 million, another 2 million, another 2 million, another 2 million, and then when it's done all with the millions that are there, it goes away. That is there's nothing more elegant. But in order for it to do that, you have to have the bacteria to create that catalyst, that enzyme. If you don't have the bacteria, which is supposed to be living here, that was the blue guy, you can't scoop up any blue stuff. You can't get any blue stuff out there, you're hurting. Some of these stunning new techniques show these cellular bacterial colonies on the surfaces, and that is what protects you. It's all membranes coating you from invasion. These things will keep away the bad stuff and let the good stuff in. All right, listen to this. Immune cells are often referred to as white blood cells, and most of them are in the barrier surfaces, such as the skin, gut, and mucous membranes. Let me show you. There's only a layer there that protects you, and that is your immune system. All right, as I said, this is brand new research. This is only from 2018. They discovered these spaces exist and said the researchers are calling this network of fluid-filled spaces an organ, which it is. It coats the entire body, and this is where your drugs flow through real quick and everything. The interstitium, it's called now. However, this is an unofficial distinction for a body part to officially be called an organ. A consensus would need to develop around the idea as more researchers study it. And Gil Headley and I are studying it, and Gil knows Dr. Tice, who wrote this article about this newly discovered organ, the interstitium. And this was by 2018, only a couple of years ago, well, 4 or 5 years ago. The presence of these fluid-filled spaces should also be confirmed by other groups. So it's cutting-edge stuff. Let's just go with that. And here it is right here. This is the National Library of Health. Supposedly you can trust them, I don't know. It says, what are the organs of the immune system? All right, this is just 2020. They have realized, and they said now, the immune system is made up of both individual cells and proteins, and I'm going to talk about the proteins in a minute, as well as entire organs and organ systems. They're going to throw this organ system in the interstitium. The organs of the immune system include skin, mucous membranes, and the organs of the lymphatic system too. That's your membranes. Remember I just talked about proteins? That's what a protein is. And that does not happen by itself. That there is a bazillion molecules attached exactly perfectly. Proteins are large, meaning made by biology, molecules, and macro, gigantic molecules that comprise one or more long chains of amino acid residues. And they are created by bacteria. Only bacteria can create that. That's not created by your body. Your body has, houses the bacteria. And what happens is they put those little jobbers in these extracellular vesicles, which are little vehicles. They're little pills they send out. They're in the bilipid layer, and they're naturally released from almost all types of cells, because all cells have membranes, and unlike a cell, cannot replicate. All right, so they're just like pills. They're little bullets. They shoot them out, and they're tiny. They're in the 20 to 30 nanometer range, the smallest ones, and then they go up to microns, which is bigger. But the nanometers is like, almost nothing. It's like 1 bazillionth of a meter. So, and anyway, what I'm getting at is these little vesicles are shot out because a bacteria told it to go out and sends it out through these walls, as you saw a Gokal, or I will show you Gokal doing this. All right, these are these extracellular capsules that originate in all of these different areas of membranes, basically. And they are terming them all kinds of different names now, ectosomes and microvesicles and microparticles and exosome, all kinds of things. Apoptotic bodies are very important, because that's where, when things die in your body and they rot inside of you, they have to be seen as being dead and then attacked by bacteria to get them to flush out of your body. So if they're very important. And these are all the different types of these vesicles, these EVs. And they just attack all different parts of the body, and they do all different jobs. Single particle, it goes on and on and on and on. Now, EVs and disease. EVs are believed to play a role in the spreading of different diseases. Well, they have it backwards. The EVs are, well, no, they don't. Let me put it this way. EVs are kept in check by good bacteria, because EVs are created by bad bacteria. They have to go out and break down cells. Yes, absolutely. But only apoptotic ones. Now, what if you get a regular cell that is attacked by one of these things for some reason because its bacteria is not there living in that cell alive? The certain bacteria that creates that apoptosis reaction is gone, so it can't keep that thing away, and it attacks it, and then it starts eating through that cell wall. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Apoptosis is a chemical that is released by a dying cell. The cell is dead. It's got to be flushed out of the body. These are big things. They don't go away. They collect in tissues if you can't get rid of them. And that causes lymph cancer and stuff like that. It causes, all cancers basically are caused by invasion of tissues or toxic things that build up and create breaches in your membranes. And then if you don't have the correct bacteria to fight back against these invaders, you're wide open. They call that a pre-existing condition. So, inside of these membranes, you're supposed to have a certain type of bacteria living there. And I mean certain, because kidneys have a certain chemistry, livers, hearts, lungs, pancreas, every single muscles, tendons, they all have a different chemistry. That different chemistry is protected by a different type of bacteria. All right, so you got 80,000 or so different bacteria living in your body right now, hopefully. And if you were irradiated, you may only have 30,000 of them living in your body because you were so heavily irradiated. So what did the other ones do? They did something, and now they're dead or weak. So you are invadable. That's a pre-existing condition. And that's why when you see this alopecia they've been talking about like crazy, that's exactly the same thing that happens from irradiated. When their skin gets irradiated, the hair follicles fall out because you killed not the hair follicle, you killed the bacteria that supports the hair follicle. This is what we need to do, is use these new tools to look in and see what is living there by color, and try to figure out what is that bacteria. And if we see yellowish purple in there, and that guy's healthy, and then the next time we look at another guy and his orange is green, well, do all the people that had their hair falling out have oranges green? If it is there a way we can put back the yellow stuff or whatever it was before that made it work? Apparently, because people, they're using fecal transplants, where you just take somebody's good poop and put it in somebody else, and it makes the bacteria, that it goes right into your interstitium. Within a few days, they seem to get better if they get the right good poop. But that's just the way it works, and they should be able to isolate these bacteria now with these kind of focusing tools, these tunneling little tools. Now I hope they can have a probe go down inside and actually watch and say, okay, I can see the yellow stuff, we're good. Next guy goes, whoop, we got the green stuff. That's why the guy's sick. And then I don't know, maybe, and they are putting these little gel caps in down where the invasion is now. And they're like time release, they call them drug factories. And all it is gel-coated, slow release of the enzyme that the bacteria would have created. So if you have the bacteria living there in those pockets, all right, you see that? If you have the bacteria living in these pockets, you don't have to go down and put a pill in there to say, release these kind of enzymes. And that's what they're doing now. So let's say you have cancer up in here somewhere, and it's supposed to send out some troops from here to kill it, to kill the cancer. Well, there's no troops. The cancer gets wild, and it takes over and breaks through all kind of membranes and eats through, because it's toxic. It either burns through it or there's something in there that this stuff should have attacked. You don't have it, you can't attack it. That's why people get sick. pre-existing condition. And that means if there is, because you're always going to have bad stuff floating through your body. It just happens. There's no way you can stop it. It's just impossible. You have to be able to attack it. Your body normally can handle, the average stuff. But if you get a severe attack, or you get one of these diseases that sort of changes a bit and your body doesn't know exactly how to react to it, you're going to get sick for a while. But if you have the right bacteria and you just tons of the right bacteria, you're never going to get sick. You're just not going to get sick. You're not going to be invadable. There's nothing going to be, that's your immune system as far as I'm concerned. All right, so we have seen Gokal's work here, and they're going inside. And I did a little more research in the last few minutes about how they're doing this. Apparently they have a probe, and it has a little camera tip on there, and they can feed it through like a little tiny needle going in to see these things. Now, how deep they can go in your body, I have no idea. What they can see, it appears they can see basically everything. And these colors, again, indicate a specific biology, or actually chemistry, which chemistry is biology. Everything's chemistry. So biology is a certain color will indicate a certain strain of bacteria to me. Now, they may be pretty close in color, but they should be able to see, using some very specific technology, they should be able to tell exactly what's in there, almost certainly. Now, which leads us to the extracellular vesicle, which is this bilipid layer. What we were just looking at is this. The lipid bilayer is a thin polar membrane. It has a bilayer, one on the top, one on the bottom. In between is all that gooey stuff and all these cells that are your immune system. Basically, that's where your immune system is. And there's something else I want to show you down here. I cannot remember, because probably I have Alzheimer's. EVs are believed to play a role in spreading of different diseases. All right, which they do. They send out different diseases, but they should be stopped by the good EVs. Now, studies have shown that tumor cells send EVs to send signals to target resident cells. Yeah, if there's nobody there to stop them, yeah. Which can lead to tumor invasion and metastasis. Yes, they invade it because there's nobody to stop them. In vitro studies of Alzheimer's disease have shown that astrocytes, which play a part in the blood-brain barrier, accumulate amyloid beta, which is this particular type of plaque. It accumulates. Well, why does it accumulate? There's nothing there to break it down. And they release toxins, which are EVs, that cause neuronal apoptosis, that kills the neurons. Apoptosis is cell death. Apoptosis is a form of programmed cell death. It occurs in multicellular organisms. All your different cells, they die. You got all kind of different cells in your body. They only live a certain amount of time. What do you think happens to them when they die? They don't walk away from you. You have to break them down into little bits and pieces so they can get flushed out of your body. That is done by bacteria. That is done by the kind of things that I'm showing you. These little... There's a bullet for every other bullet. Put it that way. There's bad guys and good guys. You got to have more good guys than bad guys. You need the bad guys, because you need things broken down that you normally don't want them broken down. So your good guys say, no, don't do this one. You can do that one over there. And that's how it works. If you don't have the good guys, your bad guys take over. Now, let's just take a list of what I think should be done right now. All right, I recommend doing this immediately, doing a membrane-bound bacteria study. And what does that mean? There's membranes, and the bacteria is bound in there, it lives there. If it's not there, we got a problem. So we got healthy versus sick. Do people have blue guys or green guys or orange guys or no guys? We need to find out the body tissue type, the region, the type, and the quantity of bacteria that lives there. Think about this. Breast cancer. They used to say double mastectomy. If you got it in one, you're probably going to get it in the other. Well, that's because your mammary glands are protected by blue guys, let's say. And if you don't have the blue guys in one, you probably don't have them in the other, so you're going to be invaded there too. This is the kind of thing that happens. Same thing with lymph node cancers. because they're all over your body. Your body has to process all these toxins from your skin, and they do it through your lymph nodes. And if your lymph nodes don't have the kind of bacteria to go out and break down these toxins you're taking in, and we are taking in toxins by the boatload, so you need a ton of good bacteria to do this job. So if you don't have that good bacteria, your lymph nodes get invaded. Then you get lymph cancer, melanoma, skin cancer, all that. So what we need to do is find out what body tissues in your skin and your armpits and your ears and your eyeballs, and every region has going to have an absolutely totally different type of species protecting it, because you have different chemistry there. Salts, acids, all that different stuff. So then we have to try techniques to repopulate those, because we should find some, if we can get back to the blue, this guy's going to be okay. But if it's green there now, well, what's going on? Anyway, if all the people that are healthy have green or have blue, and all the bad ones have green, we got to figure a way to get the blue back. We'll stop at that. Now, create specific bacteria in cultures. Right now they're doing fecal transplants where they take somebody else's poop and they put it in you to make you healthy, and it works. It works. They've had very, very, very good success with it, because that is where all of the things are going on your digestive system, where the membranes on your digestive system are creating these bacteria and allowing only good things in and keeping the bad things out. But you got to absorb and you got to get rid. Now, so we need to be able to culture these instead of doing the poop shoot thing. That's, deliver devices. How are we going to deliver it? Right now, like I say, they're giving you an actual colonoscopy and squirting it right up inside your colon, and then it repopulates, and it's working. So that's what we need, is these bacteria to go back. Now, enzymes and catalysts and extracts, we probably are going to need that, because we may not be able to get these things to repopulate. Who knows? So we need to at least be able to figure out what are these making, what kind of enzymes and catalysts, and can we make extracts, which I know they're doing right now, because they're putting them in these little gel caps and they're implanting them right next to the cancer, and so it doesn't invade your whole body. It just is local to that region, and it kills the cancer. They had stage 4 cancers with mice, and they did this, and they had success in some of them. Within 6 days it killed the cancer. So this is not something that's pie in the sky here. I'm not kidding you. This is literally bizarre. You see what this is? Future of Medicine, CBS News. I just turned on the TV. I'm getting ready to put this video up, and here it comes. It just came up. Listen to this now.
Those little robots should relieve pressure by releasing fluid from the brain. They say that they're hopeful that these devices can be used to treat brain disorders alike. This is a really important one, Dandy Walker syndrome, which can cause brain cysts in children.
Anything that can provide relief for somebody, I'm all for it.
And it's been treated successfully in animals. So it's a real thing happening.
That's what I like about Talking the Table, though, because you pick stories that are unique to you.
Yes.
Would you have picked that story, Tony?
No. In fact, I did. I saw it and I passed it.
I don't see why you wouldn't pick it. I mean, these are very, very interesting topics. Now, the future of medicine, yes, they're talking about sending in these little robots, apparently. All I saw was what you saw. And they're going to drain the fluid. Well, why is the fluid there? The fluid's there because something fluid is usually, you always get fluid when you have infections and inflammation. It seems to be a byproduct of that, disease or whatever it is, the tissue's being invaded, and it's squirting fluids at it, apparently, something like that. It's because, whatever. Now, these are all things that need to be discussed, but I just found this just absolutely phenomenal that this popped up right after I'm in the middle of doing this video. I just ready to put the video up. How bizarre is that? Alright, this is something that could be tested within days. Surprising link between alopecia and the gut. Well, the gut creates the bacteria that gets up around the hair follicles to keep them from being spit out of there and destroyed. So the gut link is here as well. Now here's what did happen. They had this woman. It had been suggested that probiotics could help in the treatment of alopecia. This theory was explored a couple of years ago by Channel 4 TV, the food hospital in which a young woman with alopecia was given a probiotic supplement for her irritable bowel. So she had irritable bowel and she had this alopecia. Well, the irritable bowel was causing alopecia. So she showed amazing results. Not only her gut health, but also her hair regrowth. And this is not a specialized case either. They're all over the place. It is related to the gut.